me at midnight. Voice low like the city underwater. Street lights melting through my blinds again. Your silence always sounded like a warning. I know the shape of trouble in your breathing. I know the pause before you say my name. You only love me halfway in the darkness, but somehow I still run into the flame. I got your hoodie hanging by the mirror. Still smells like smoke and summer rain. I tell myself I should've learned by now, but loneliness rewires every vein. And every time you touch me like a secret, my common sense collapses in the room. You pull me close enough to feel eternal, then disappear before the morning blooms. Why you always showing up right before I finally heal? Why your hands feel like a drug? Why your lies still feel so real? Every time I close the door, you find another way back in. Maybe I'm addicted to the chaos underneath your skin. You're my night bloom, growing wild inside my chest, only opening in darkness, never letting me rest. You kiss me like forever, then leave without a sound. Still I keep your shadow dancing every time the sun goes down. Night bloom, slow poison in my veins. Every heartbreak tastes sweeter when it carries your name. I know I should forget you, but forgetting hurts too soon. So I let your memory flower like a night bloom. We drove around the city for an hour. No destination, just avoiding truth. Your fingers drumming patterns on the steering wheel, like even you were nervous too. You said commitment feels like suffocation. I laughed like I was cool with being used, but every joke I made was just a bandage covering wounds you never knew. Now your picture glows against my ceiling at 4 a.m. when sleep won't come around. I replay every unfinished conversation, every almost love we almost found. And I hate the way your absence has a gravity, pulling me back whenever I move on. You built a home inside my worst habits. Now every better version of me feels wrong. Why you always showing up right before I finally heal? Why your hands feel like a drug? Why your lies still feel so real? Every time I close the door, you find another way back in. Maybe I'm addicted to the chaos underneath your skin. You're my night bloom, growing wild inside my chest, only opening in darkness, never letting me rest. You kiss me like forever, then leave without a sound. Still I keep your shadow dancing every time the sun goes down. Night bloom, slow poison in my veins. Every heartbreak tastes sweeter when it carries your name. I know I should forget you, but forgetting hurts too soon. So I let your memory flower like a night bloom. Maybe I romanticize the damage. Maybe I confuse pain for depth. Maybe I kept drowning in your ocean because I was terrified of emptiness. And maybe every late night conversation was just two lonely people killing time. But tell me why your ghost still lives beside me, like unfinished lyrics in my mind. I still hear your laugh inside my headphones. I still feel your fingerprints on glass. I still reach across the bed unconscious, like part of me believes you're coming back. And every new beginning feels dishonest. Every new touch feels cold and thin, because no one ever loved me with your chaos. No one ever ruined me like this. You're my night bloom, growing wild inside my chest, only opening in darkness, never letting me rest. You kiss me like forever, then leave without a sound. Still I keep your shadow dancing every time the sun goes down. Night bloom, even when I know the cost, I will walk into your fire just to feel this lost. Maybe love was never meant to save me. Maybe love was meant to bruise. Still I let your memory flower like a night bloom. midnight again, your name glowing on Your voice comes through my headphones like velvet static in the dark. Every little crack inside the signal still finds a way into my heart. I should've blocked your number months ago, but weakness wears your silhouette. And every time my phone starts glowing, my body forgets to protect itself. Your apartment smelled like red wine and old cologne and rainy streets. You kissed me slow against the counter, like temporary things could still be deep. And I remember every small detail, the blue light underneath your door, the way your fingers traced my shoulder, like you'd done this life before. We keep circling the same flame, knowing we'll burn again. But loneliness sounds softer when it's wrapped inside your skin. Velvet static in my bloodstream. You fade in and out of view. Every signal turns to heartbreak. Every song turns back to you. Ooh, you move through me like a frequency I can never quite escape. Velvet static, soft disaster. Love distorted through the waves. I heard you met somebody newer, someone easier to hold, someone who doesn't overthink every little thing she's told. And suddenly the room got smaller, my chest collapsed beneath the weight. Funny how the things we never had still somehow devastate. I walked home in a purple neon city, humming underneath my shoes, trying not to replay your laughter, trying not to replay the truth that maybe we were just two shadows keeping each other company, pretending temporary comfort could become eternity. We keep circling the same flame, knowing we'll burn again. But loneliness sounds softer when it's wrapped inside your skin. Velvet static in my bloodstream. You fade in and out of view. Every signal turns to heartbreak. Every song turns back to you. You move through me like a frequency I can never quite escape. Velvet static, soft disaster. Love distorted through the waves. I still hear your echo in my kitchen, still see your outline in the steam, still wake up reaching for your body, like my subconscious didn't get the memo. And maybe healing isn't clean at all, maybe it flickers, disappears, maybe moving on is just accepting. Some memories were built to burn. I tried replacing you with strangers, but every conversation felt delayed, like nobody else could touch the places where all my hidden damage stayed. And every city light reminds me of driving nowhere next to you. Windows down at almost sunrise, thinking maybe we'd make it through. Velvet static in my bloodstream. You fade in and out of view. Every signal turns to heartbreak. Every song turns back to you. You move through me like a frequency I can never quite escape. Velvet static, soft disaster. Love distorted through the waves. Velvet static in the silence. Even after all this time, every broken little heartbeat still responds to your design. The signal cuts, but I still hear you somewhere in the noise. After 2 a.m. the city starts confessing. Traffic lights blink like tired eyes. Every lonely window tells a story. Every stranger wears a quiet disguise. I'm sitting on my kitchen counter, cold coffee in my shaking hands, trying not to text you something reckless, trying not to ruin all my plans. But nighttime turns me into someone softer, someone who still believes in almost love, someone who still checks old conversations like there might be hidden meaning stuck between them. I know better in the daylight, morning always tells the truth, but after 2 a.m. your memory feels too beautiful to lose. I hate the way the silence grows when everybody else is sleeping, and suddenly your absence sounds like thunder through the ceiling. After 2 a.m. every room starts breathing, every wall comes down again, every lie sounds healing. I replay your voice like a prayer in the dark. After 2 a.m. you always find my heart. You said we met at the wrong timing, like timing wasn't just another fear. Like maybe if the stars aligned differently, you would have actually stayed here. And part of me still wants to believe that, because truth hurts more than fantasy. Truth says maybe you just loved attention more than you ever loved me. So I light another cigarette on the balcony, watching headlights blur below, thinking about all the versions of us that never got the chance to grow. And somewhere across the sleeping city, maybe you're awake like me. Maybe loneliness is finally teaching you what you meant to me. I hate the way the silence grows when everybody else is sleeping, and suddenly your absence sounds like thunder through the ceiling. After 2 a.m. every room starts breathing, every wall comes down again, every lie sounds healing. I replay your voice like a prayer in the dark. After 2 a.m. you always find my heart. I wonder if you miss me accidentally, like hearing my favorite song in public, or catching somebody wearing my perfume and freezing for a second in confusion. I wonder if your new girl notices the way you go quiet around midnight, the way your eyes drift somewhere distant whenever old memories ignite. Because some loves don't disappear completely, they just hide beneath the skin, waiting for exhausted, lonely moments to pull their ghost back in again. And maybe that's the cruelest part, not losing you but carrying you forward like invisible smoke in my lungs, like unfinished storms behind my eyes, like a room I'll never fully leave. No matter how many cities I run through, no matter how many people touch me after, some part of me still belongs to you. After 2 a.m. every room starts breathing, every wall comes down again, every light sounds healing. I replay your voice like a prayer in the dark. After 2 a.m. you always find my heart. After 2 a.m. I still hear your footsteps, like you're walking through my soul long after you left. The sky is turning blue now, and somehow that hurts the most. Bleeding through the taxi windows, your hand resting warm against my thigh. Whole city glowing like a hallucination, while we pretend tonight won't die. You looked at me like you were searching for something deeper than a temporary high. And for one dangerous second, I almost believed you this time. Music shaking through my bloodstream, bassline heavy in my ribs, perfume mixing with the midnight, like temptation, learning how to live. And everybody in the crowded room felt distant as another planet's light, because your attention always hit me like electricity at night. You say forever so casually, like the word has no weight, but every promise from your lips still sounds impossible to hate. Blue neon heartbeat pulsing underneath my skin. Every time you pull me closer, I let the chaos in. Blue neon heartbeat, city lights inside your eyes. Loving you feels beautiful and dangerous at the same time. We stumble, laughing through the back streets, sharing secrets we will both regret. You told me fear keeps ruining everything. I told you mine never left. And suddenly the night got honest, the kind of honesty that cuts too deep. Like maybe underneath our reckless games, we were both too tired to sleep. And silence settled in between us, heavy as the smoke above the road. I could feel your mind drifting somewhere, somewhere you wouldn't let me go. And that's the thing about your love, it always arrives glowing and warm, and disappears before I notice I'm standing in another storm. You say forever so casually, like the word has no weight, but every promise from your lips still sounds impossible to hate. Blue neon heartbeat pulsing underneath my skin. Every time you pull me closer, I let the chaos in. Blue neon heartbeat, city lights inside your eyes. Loving you feels beautiful and dangerous at the same time. Maybe we're just modern loneliness, wrapped inside expensive lights. Maybe all these crowded parties are just ways to survive the night. Maybe every kiss between us was another form of escape to damage people building heaven out of temporary mistakes. But even temporary things can alter you. Even passing storms leave marks. Even one night in your orbit can rearrange somebody's heart. And I still feel your gravity pulling long after the music ends, long after the city quiets, long after we're pretending to be friends. Because some connections hit like lightning, fast and bright and impossible to hold. But once you've seen the sky split open, normal love starts feeling cold. Neon heartbeat pulsing underneath my skin. Every time you pull me closer, I let the chaos in. Blue neon heartbeat, city lights inside your eyes. Loving you feels beautiful and dangerous at the same time. Blue neon heartbeat still flashing through my veins. Every memory burns brighter when it carries your name. Taxi lights fade into morning, but your echo stays inside me. You never broke my heart all at once. It happened slowly over months. tiny fractures underneath the surface. Quiet damage building up, like every canceled plan at midnight. Every unread message left unseen. Every time you chose your freedom while still holding on to me. And I kept shrinking to accommodate you, kept turning pain into excuses, kept pretending half your love was somehow better than losing it. Funny how survival starts resembling surrender. Funny how loneliness can make you compromise, until one day you wake up exhausted from carrying somebody else's indecision. I should've left when I noticed love was hurting more than healing, but your touch kept pulling me back before I could trust the feeling. Slow damage, that's how you ruin me. Not with anger, not with violence, but in consistency. Slow damage, like water through the walls. By the time I saw the cracks, the whole house had already fallen. Now every new connection feels unstable. Every compliment sounds rehearsed. I analyze affection like a scientist, trying to predict who leaves first. And maybe that's the worst thing you gave me. Not heartbreak, but hesitation. Now vulnerability feels dangerous, like stepping barefoot through broken glass. Still some nights I miss your laughter, miss your shadow in my room, miss the version of myself who still believed we'd make it through. Because memory edits everything softer, turns red flags into faded gold, and suddenly the pain feels beautiful. Once enough time has passed to dull it. I should've left when I noticed love was hurting more than healing, but your touch kept pulling me back before I could trust the feeling. Slow damage, that's how you ruin me. Not with anger, not with violence, but in consistency. Slow damage, like water through the walls. By the time I saw the cracks, the whole house had already fallen. Healing isn't cinematic at all. It's deleting no photos at 3 in the morning. It's resisting the urge to call someone who only loved you conditionally. It's learning how to sit in silence without confusing emptiness for peace. It's realizing some people enter your life only to teach you what love shouldn't be. And I hate that wisdom often arrives bleeding. I hate that growth tastes so much like grief. I hate that part of me still searches crowds for your face without permission. But maybe survival means carrying scars gracefully. Maybe strength is softer than we think. Maybe moving forward isn't forgetting. Maybe it's learning not to drown in what still aches. And tonight, for the first time in months, your memory doesn't own the whole room. Tonight I finally sound like somebody who's beginning to choose herself again. Slow damage, that's how you change me. But every scar inside my chest is proof I didn't leave me. Slow damage, so let go sometimes, but I'm finally learning how to call this life mine. Slow damage couldn't bury me alive. Look at me still breathing. Look at me survive. The walls still remember you, but I don't live there anymore. Highway glowing underneath the rainfall, dashboard lights across your jawline. We kept driving like movement could save us. from the truth catching up this time. You said love shouldn't feel this difficult. I stared out at the endless road, because sometimes people say goodbye long before they actually go. Radio humming through the silence, static feeling what we couldn't say. And every mile felt like another thread, is slowly pulling us away. I watch your reflection in the window, blur with all the passing signs, thinking maybe some connections are only temporary by design. Still your gravity lingers long after the collision. Some people leave your life, but never leave your system. Saturn in your rearview, still glowing in the dark. Even when you're moving forward, you can feel it pull your heart. Saturn in your rearview, beautiful and far away. Some loves aren't built to last, but they still rearrange you anyway. Now I'm dancing in a stranger's kitchen, laughing louder than I did before, learning how to live without waiting for your footsteps at my door. And healing isn't linear, some nights still hit like storms, but at least now when I miss you, I don't mistake it for belonging. I think we loved each other honestly, just not enough to overcome ourselves. You feared cages, I feared distance, and eventually we became exactly what we dreaded. Still I don't regret the orbit, not the chaos, not the burn, because some people arrive to transform you, even if they were never meant to return. Still your gravity lingers long after the collision. Some people leave your life, but never leave your system. Saturn in your rearview, still glowing in the dark. Even when you're moving forward, you can feel it pull your heart. Saturn in your rearview, beautiful and far away. Some loves aren't built to last, but they still rearrange you anyway. I used to think healing meant erasing, like one day I'd wake up untouched. But now I think healing is remembering without reopening every wound, is being able to hear our song in public without feeling the floor disappear. It's understanding love can matter deeply, even when it doesn't stay here. And somewhere beneath this city skyline, I hope you're healing too. I hope you learn how to stop running from every person who gets close to you, because despite everything that happened, despite the sleepless nights and wreckage, there was something real between us, something too alive to completely regret. And maybe adulthood is accepting not every beautiful thing survives. Maybe maturity is understanding some chapters still matter after they end. Saturn in your rearview, still glowing in the dark. Even when you're moving forward, you can feel it pull your heart. Saturn in your rearview, beautiful and far away. Some loves aren't built to last, but they still rearrange you anyway. Saturn in your rearview, finally fading with the dawn. Still beautiful in memory, even after it's gone. Rain stops somewhere behind me, and for once I kept driving. There's a last light on the ceiling from the city outside my room. Soft gold flickering like memories, trying not to disappear too soon. And tonight, for the first time in forever, your name doesn't feel like a wound, just a song I used to know by heart, playing quietly in another room. I used to think love was possession, holding tighter every time fear spoke. But maybe real love leaves space for breathing. Maybe that's what we both never learned. Then looking back I see us clearer. Two lonely people chasing warmth, two beautiful unfinished stories, trying to survive the dark. I still carry pieces of you, but they don't control me now. Some ghosts become softer with enough distance somehow. Last light on the ceiling, fading slow above my bed. All the things I thought would kill me only changed me instead. Last light on the ceiling, golden shadows on the wall. Maybe losing you was painful, but maybe losing you wasn't losing, no. Now the mornings feel less heavy, coffee tastes like something warm again. Music doesn't always trigger memories. I can finally hear songs for what they are. And somewhere out there you're still living, still becoming someone new. Maybe love isn't ownership, maybe it's just witnessing the truth. I hope somebody learns your silences better than I ever could. I hope somebody teaches you that vulnerability isn't weakness. And I hope when you think back on me, it doesn't ache entirely. I hope we become one of those stories people remember tenderly. I still carry pieces of you, but they don't control me now. Some ghosts become softer with enough distance somehow. Last light on the ceiling, fading slow above my bed. All the things I thought would kill me only changed me instead. Last light on the ceiling, golden shadows on the wall. Maybe losing you was painful, but maybe losing you wasn't losing, no. There are versions of me who never met versions, born after the heartbreak versions, learning how to trust peace without confusing it for emptiness. Versions dancing alone in the kitchen without needing somebody to witness it. Versions finally understanding self-worth shouldn't depend on being chosen. And maybe that's the hidden mercy inside every ending. We survive. Eventually the grief becomes perspective. Eventually the wreckage becomes wisdom. Eventually the song stops sounding tragic and starts sounding honest instead. Because love didn't fail just because it ended. Some things are beautiful specifically because they end. Like sunsets, like seasons, like conversations at midnight, like headlights disappearing down rain-soaked roads, like the last light on the ceiling before sleep finally arrives. Last light on the ceiling, fading soft into the dawn. Every version of my heartbreak led me somewhere strong. Last light on the ceiling, I can finally breathe again. Thank you for the chaos, thank you for the ending. Last light on the ceiling, slowly disappear now. But for the first time in forever, I don't need to chase it down.